Good afternoon and welcome to this press briefing with regard to the united position of OAS member states with regard to the support to our sister Republic of Haiti. I want to recognize, first of all, Ambassador Jean-Joshua Pierre, Permanent Representative of Haiti to the OAS, the Distinguished Permanent Representative of Panama to the OAS, Ana Irene Delgado. I recognize all of the permanent representatives who are present here. Thank you very much for your presence. I do want to recognize also specifically Vice Minister Ruben Sirlier, our host of the next Summit of the Americas, and the different the different vice ministers who are present, and of course, the Chairman of the Permanent Council, and all other vice ministers who are present. There are many here from different countries. I recognize also the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Caribbean Affairs of the United States State Department, Barbara Feinstein, possibly permanent observers who are present here as well. Ladies and gentlemen from the media, thank you very much for being here. And to all of you, good morning. Before I start giving you some context with regard to the reason for this press briefing and also what you can expect shortly, I wanted to recognize that 24 years ago, the world and the hemisphere was shocked by an attack on humanity, terrorist attacks in New York and other places in the United States, at the same moment when the Inter-American Democratic Charter was being adopted in Peru. This is 24 years ago, but I think that we must remind ourselves that this is one other reason, this happening 24 years ago, that we need to work together, that we must, with determination and conviction, eradicate hatred and intolerance in all its forms, and that we must reaffirm our unwavering commitment to continue building a safer, more resilient, and more peaceful hemisphere where human dignity, peace, justice, and freedom prevail over fear and terror. I just wanted to say this so that we all know that today, in that context, is also a special day to commemorate. Having said that, I want to indicate to you that for many, many weeks now, we have been engaging with regard to the situation in Haiti. And we have been engaging with member states, with permanent observers, of course with the Republic of Haiti and the leadership. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Prime Minister was here, a week or two ago, and also with international organizations. So there is an approach to collectively discuss what is the best way forward together and on the leadership of the Haitian authorities. And this is the reason why you see three other persons here. Ambassador Pierre will speak on behalf of the Republic of Haiti. And then we have, as a follow-up to this whole process, we have the roadmap adopted, but there is also a process to adopt a UN resolution in the Security Council. And the two co-writers of that resolution are the United States and Panama, as the previous chair of the UN Security Council. So this is the reason why we have this composition here. All of them will speak briefly and present their perspectives. I only want to say at this point that I'm very pleased to see that the unity which has been demonstrated through the adoption or the approval of the statement which was issued yesterday, that is not only important for the OAS, but it's a clear sign of the support which the Republic of Haiti and the people of Haiti have from the whole hemisphere. It's an important signal to the whole world to demonstrate that unity. And I know that there are differences, and there will be differences in the way we facilitate that resolution subsequently. I'll speak to that a little bit at the end. But important is that we see the benefit of supporting a way forward with strength, with more opportunity to support Haiti and the Haitian people in many areas. And we have already heard over the past couple of weeks how important, how paramount the issue is of security. That needs to be addressed first and foremost. Because otherwise, the other areas where Haiti needs support in terms of humanitarian assistance, in terms of the political dialogue, the roadmap towards elections, and the rebuilding of the economy will be very difficult to get done. We have put all of this in the roadmap, and I want to thank member states for endorsing that roadmap. It's an evolving document, so our next step will be on the basis of input from Haiti, which we have received now, then make version 3 of the roadmap, and immediately after that, we will start with mobilizing support. And this process, which is now demonstrated, will help us do that even better with your assistance. So I want to thank you all very much for showing hemispheric solidarity and unity. And for me, it's extra important because I've always called that this organization can be valuable, can be meaningful to the hemisphere if we work together, if we see the benefit and the interest of what we do, the substantive areas. And this is what has been demonstrated in the past couple of days. And Ambassador will speak to that. Both the United States and Panama will speak to that. So I would like to invite now Ambassador Pierre to make his statement, followed by the United States and Panama. Ambassador.
Mr. Secretary General, Chair of the Permanent Council, Vice Minister, Secretary of State, distinguished colleagues, ambassadors, dear representatives, members of the Permanent Observer States of the OAS. On behalf of the Presidential Transitional Council led up by Laurent Saint-Cyr and on behalf of the Republic of Haiti, Prime Minister Alix Didier Fils-Aimé and the Haitian people, I want to begin by thanking OAS member states, especially Panama, Canada, and the United States, who have supported this joint statement to transform the MSS into a special forces to take down gangs. We also thank the Secretary General of the OAS, Albert Ramdin, who is doing everything to help Haiti. Dear Secretary General, we thank you for hearing us, for hearing the Haitian people, for hearing the authorities of our country. We continue to move forward with a road map, and that is proof that you are hearing us, and we want to continue to have you at our side. And this joint statement of Haiti and the member states. In that sense, let me reiterate, observer states, dear members, the essential message of the government of Haiti to the international community, which was stated yesterday by our Prime Minister when he made a declaration to the UN Security Council. The Haitian government is convinced that the transformation of the MSS into a gang suppression force is not optional, it is mandatory. And so we want the UN security to act as soon as possible. Every day we wait means there are more victims and our institutions are weaker. Every day without action means that the gangs can have more influence, more power, and to undermine our society and its fabric. We do not have the luxury of waiting. Nevertheless, this is not the idea of substituting the Haitian government or replacing it with the international community. Rather, we need measures to stabilize our government. Without security, there will be no credible elections, nor economic development, nor social reconciliation. Without security, Haiti will be prisoner of violence, and this will continue to put our future in danger. We need the immediate implementation of this suppression force, and the international community needs to fully support Haiti, and the UN Security Council needs to undertake its responsibilities to ensure international security. So we applaud the UN Security Council and ask them to act. And history will show that at this decisive moment, you need to give us not only encouraging words, but to show that you are going to take action. Now, these are the words of our Prime Minister with respect to what he said before the UN Security Council. Again, Haiti thanks the OAS members. We thank you for allowing our organization to actually get ahead of the UN, because we have consensus here, and we see that through the joint statement that will be read. This is the joint statement by Haiti, Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominica, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Honduras, Jamaica, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, United States, and Uruguay. Call for coordinated UN action in support of the OAS Haiti Roadmap, Washington, D.C., September 9, 2025. We, the signatories, as member states of the Organization of American States, reaffirm our solidarity with the Haitian people, our respect for Haiti's sovereignty, and our commitment to supporting Haiti at this critical moment in line with the resolution calling for concrete solutions to be brought to bear as a matter of urgency to resolve the grave security and institutional crisis in Haiti. On August 20th, the OAS Permanent Council received the Secretary General's presentation of the updated Haiti roadmap towards a Haitian-led roadmap for stability and peace with regional and international support. This Haitian-led, internationally supported framework in development with Haitian authorities, the United Nations, and the inter-American partners sets security as the enabling condition for humanitarian response and the restoration of democratic governance through free and fair elections, and introduces practical mechanisms for coordination, transparency, and resource mobilization to reduce duplication and to drive a coherent response. We recognize the central role of the United Nations in promoting and keeping international peace and security. We recognize also that violence perpetrated by organized criminal groups and gangs in Haiti, even outside of armed conflict, threatens lives and livelihoods, as well as regional peace and security. In that spirit, we support the establishment of a UN Support Office for Haiti and a transition of the Multinational Security Support MSS mission to a new force that is focused on establishing a safe and stable environment for Haitian authorities to restore and maintain rule of law including through dismantling of gangs. We pay tribute to Kenya for leading the MSS mission, as well as to the Bahamas, Belize, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Jamaica for contributing personnel. Considering that peace requires more than security operations, it demands more than security operations. We will support Haitian-led efforts to address the root causes and drivers of violence: weak democratic institutions, corruption, poverty, and persistent striking social inequalities, as well as limited access to education and essential public services. We underscore the important role of the OAS in strengthening institutional operational capacities through a civil, humanitarian, and human rights approach, while fully respecting Haitian leadership, national democratic institutions, and international legal norms, with particular attention to fighting against sexual violence and the protection of women, children, and other vulnerable groups. We, as member states of the OAS, stand ready to work in partnership, in keeping with our national capabilities, in line with the OAS mandates, with the United Nations and Haiti, to advance the Haiti roadmap and to support the Haitian people. We encourage voluntary contributions to the UN Trust Fund to support the new force to be established by the UN Security Council. We also welcome complementary support via the OAS Secure Haiti platform, consistent with the UN framework. We reaffirm that Haiti's path forward must remain Haitian-led, with the full ownership of its institutions and civil society. Humanitarian assistance, long-term socioeconomic development, the protection of members of vulnerable groups, as well as respect for human rights and international law, must remain at the core of our collective efforts. The OAS, CARICOM, and the UN must act in full coordination to ensure coherence, legitimacy, and effectiveness. Today, we send a united hemispheric message. Haiti cannot wait. The time for decisive, coordinated action is now, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. And I just want to highlight that this statement is not from one country or a group of countries. It has been a result of input from different member states, ultimately resulting in this statement. So this is really a statement from OAS member states, active member states. Just want to make sure that that is understood for the media, that it's been a negotiating process. The input from every single member state has been taken as best as possible on board. Having said that, I would like to invite now the Deputy Assistant Secretary, Barbara Feinstein, for Caribbean Affairs.
Thank you, Secretary General. Distinguished colleagues, friends, and members of the press, today is a profoundly sad day for the United States, reflecting not only on the horrors of yesterday, but also the events of September 11th, 2001. 24 years ago, terrorists attacked our country in an attempt to destroy our way of life, and our neighbors across the Americas stood with us in grief and resolve. This day carries deep meaning for our entire region. On that same date, the nations of this hemisphere adopted the Inter-American Democratic Charter, affirming democracy as fundamental. Today, we draw on that same unity and determination as we confront Haiti's crisis against terrorism and gang violence in the Western Hemisphere. The United States proudly joins Secretary General Ramdin, Haiti, Panama, and all OAS member states in endorsing the joint statement on Haiti. Every flag in this room speaks with one voice. We stand united with the Haitian people and urge the United Nations Security Council to act without delay. Escalating terrorist and insurgent gang violence is devastating Haiti. More than 1.3 million people, half of them children, are displaced. Communities are under siege, and children are being forcibly recruited or subjected to sexual violence. The territorial expansion of these criminals and murderers threatens to erase the hard-fought battles for national sovereignty by the under-resourced Haitian security forces. Despite the courageous efforts of the multinational security support mission and the resolve of the Kenyan contingent and our hemispheric partners, who have stepped up and continue to risk their lives on the ground, the Haitian state remains more imperiled today than when the Security Council first envisioned a way to support. We must come together as a region now to deliver an appropriately resourced force with the scale and scope needed to take the fight to the gangs. The United States has taken decisive steps, designating Vivre Ensemble and Grand Griffe as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists, offering a $5 million reward for information leading to the arrest of Jimmy Cherizier, and promoting accountability for criminals and those supporting terrorist gangs through indictments, arrests, sanctions, arms seizures, and visa and U.S. residency restrictions. We commend Kenya for its courageous leadership of the MSS mission under extraordinarily harrowing circumstances. We thank the Bahamas, Belize, El Salvador, Guatemala, Jamaica, and Canada in particular for their generous contributions. And we also recognize Panama's engaged leadership through diplomacy in New York as a vital partner on supporting Haiti through this time of unparalleled crisis and the drafting of a Security Council resolution, and also wish to recognize Guyana as another regional champion of this effort on the Council. Today, we call on the Security Council to authorize what Haiti has said they need urgently, and what we heard just now underscored by the Haitian ambassador: a new gang suppression force, or GSF, with a dedicated UN support office to provide the logistical backbone and resources needed to succeed. The GSF must be empowered to secure territory and critical infrastructure, dismantle gangs, and work alongside Haiti's own security forces to restore baseline security for its people. In parallel, the members of the OAS must work together to disrupt gang financing, arms trafficking, and other illicit flows fueling mass instability across Haiti and the region. On the anniversary of the Inter-American Democratic Charter, we are reminded that democracy cannot flourish where criminals sow violence to rule through fear. Every OAS member state has spoken. We urge the United Nations Security Council to hear our united voices and act without delay. Haiti cannot wait. The time for urgent, coordinated action is now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the last sentence, the time for action is now, is certainly a critical element of all the work which is being done. It brings me to inviting Ambassador Delgado to speak on behalf of Panama, who, as Platus said before, an important role in coming to this point.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Secretary General, I acknowledge the presence of the Vice Minister of the Dominican Republic and the Vice Minister of Guatemala. We have Vice Ministers of Paraguay, Honduras, and members of the press, delegates. On behalf of the government of the Republic of Panama and its President, Quintero, we affirm our solidarity with the Haitian people and our commitment to supporting their efforts to recover from the security, humanitarian, and institutional crisis that this brother nation faces. And what brings us here today is the call for action supported by the 32 member states and reflects a hemispheric agreement on the need to work in a coordinated way, always acknowledging Haiti's leadership and respect for its sovereignty. Recently, the Permanent Council of the OAS heard a presentation by Secretary General on the uh, uh, roadmap for Haiti, towards a Haiti-led roadmap for stability and peace with the regional and international support. And with Haiti, CARICOM, the UN, and the member states of the OAS. This means security is an essential condition for ensuring humanitarian assistance, restoring democratic governance, and opening the path forward to free and fair elections. In this context, the Republic of Panama and the United States have put together a draft resolution in the UN Security Council with a view to strengthening multinational support for security through a support office, and a more robust mandate will allow us to better support the authorities, the Haitian police, through a new force that is capable of creating stability and security. Our support is not limited to security. Haiti also needs to address the root causes of the crisis: poverty, inequality, institutional weakness, and a lack of access to basic services. For this reason, this joint declaration recognizes the key role of the OAS in institution strengthening, in the defense of human rights, and the protection of vulnerable groups, with special attention to women and children. Full coordination between the UN, the OAS, and CARICOM is essential. On our own, none of us can make a difference, but together we can forge a true path towards peace in Haiti. On behalf of Panama, I reiterate that we are ready to lend our capabilities to this historic effort. Haiti needs hope, and the international community needs to make sure that we do not fail in that attempt. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, and to all the speakers here for their presentation, but also for the message which was conveyed, how important unity is in terms of being as effective as possible. I do wish, in closing, to say a few words with regard to what we can expect next, both from the perspective of what the OAS roadmap concerns, but also in terms of the global efforts in terms of the United Nations Security Council resolution. But before I do that, I do want to highlight, as both have done already, the role of Kenya. An ambassador of Kenya is here in terms of taking up the task almost a year and a half ago of providing the key forces on the ground to assist in that process. And I think the solidarity which an African nation has demonstrated goes far beyond this region. And I want to thank you, especially, Ambassador, to your President Ruto, for making this possible. And we, of course, look forward to the continued collaboration with Kenya and other African states in terms of support to the people of the Republic of Haiti. I, of course, must mention all the other countries from within our region who have supported, not only by providing forces on the ground, but also providing training to police officers. And that brings me to the context of what this really means. This is an ongoing process. This is evolving, and it will mean that every stakeholder in this process, and I recognize, of course, the member states of the OAS, the Haitian leadership, and we do not do anything without that the Haitian leadership is aware of it, because we respect the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the nation. So Haitian political leadership and decision making is part and parcel of this process. This is why at the last meeting of the second group of friends meeting, Haiti became part of the tripartite, what was then a tripartite coordinating mechanism, now a coordinating mechanism which is composed of the United Nations Technical Secretariat, the Organization of American States, CARICOM, and the Eminent Persons Group, as well as Haiti. As I said before, possibly in the future we can consider others joining the coordination team as well, depending on the developments. But I think it's important to note that this process is not driven by any of the three institutions, but it's Haiti who drives this process. And we will always consult with Haiti. And I want to indicate here also, apart from these stakeholders, that our member states have indicated very clearly and without any doubt that security is important, fighting the gangs is important, but it has to take place in the context of rule of law, in terms of sovereignty, but also in terms of looking at issues with regard to human rights, as well as development and the political process. So it's a much more holistic approach. The UN resolution will focus, of course, on the security environment, but there is a larger context, and that context is provided in the roadmap. Our intention is, in hopefully a week's time, with the input of Haiti and Haitian institutions, in specifically the fields of security, political dialogue, and elections, to produce version 3 of the roadmap. And from there on, we will start mobilizing support to Haiti so that we can start with the implementation. Ultimately, as I said, a plan is a plan, but without resources, without support, it doesn't help. So we're going to work on that. I wanted to share that with you. And the urgency, I must also stress. There is a real urgent need to assist the Haitian people now to mitigate the security threats which the people are facing. And the sooner we do this, the better. And I'm happy that UN Secretary General Guterres' proposal, already made in February of this year, is now coming to fruition in the form, maybe not in the whole context of his proposal, but that it will be resulting in a resolution of the United Nations Security Council. And I do hope that when the solidarity which has been demonstrated by our own hemisphere is seen by the world, that all feel inspired to not hesitate and support the adoption of a resolution. We need that because, and I have stated this also, and I want to state it again, the OAS cannot do everything in the security arena. We don't have that mandate. And the Charter doesn't provide for that. We can only, in the margins, assist in the process led through a process of the United Nations. So this resolution is also important for the OAS to be able to do at maximum what it can do based on our own rules and regulations and our Charter. Just want to be clear, because I know this is a concern, and I can tell you we will not do anything that has something to do with command structures or peacekeeping operations as such. We, in the margins, will help mitigate the security environment as best as possible to start with the real process of rebuilding the economy and the society of Haiti. And I hope that once this process in the United Nations and the negotiations start, that we soon can have an adopted resolution supported by all in the UN Security Council, as well as by our own member states through your own representatives in the UN, and that we can start really on the ground working with Haiti and the Haitian leadership, because it has a timeline as well. We know that February next year, the mandate of the Transitional Presidential Council ends. So anything we can do now is going to help us manage that process going forward much better. That's a political element. We look forward to CARICOM's guidance in that regard, as they have done a lot already. And I think we can expect the same. We will keep the membership of the OAS, of course, informed about every step further we take. And on a regular basis, as agreed, every 2 months, we'll present you a report on the roadmap and the implementation. There are some other details which we still need to fine-tune with regard to the context and the placement of this exercise, this project, or this initiative. But we'll come back to you in the Permanent Council on that in a more formal setting. I wanted to close with this and thank all of you for being present. I'm not sure if there are questions because the media is present. If there are, then let's take a few questions. Yes. And I'll try to answer those questions because, can you, yes.
Can you hear me? Jordi Zamora, Agence France Presse, Secretary General. I would like to know if you think that soon we could have concrete figures of, I don't know, any further deployment on training AD and which countries could be contributing.
Thank you very much. Of course, this exercise is meant to provide that framework that member states can decide in what way they can provide support to mitigate the security environment. There are several ways to do that. One is simply putting what we call boots on the ground. If member states are willing to do that, we can play a role in that in terms of having those discussions. We cannot command forces. The OAS is not going to do that. But we can certainly mobilize support for that. But that will depend on member states. I think that trajectory, those actions will follow once the resolution is passed and once we have our roadmap in version 3 completed. That's when we will go to member states and explain to them what needs there are in the area of security. Because it's not only, as I said, putting forces on the ground. Some countries have already indicated in the hemisphere that they're willing to do that. But there is much more that needs to be done in terms of security, in terms of training, in terms of strengthening the Haitian National Police, in terms of equipment, protective material, communication apparatus, and also vehicles, so that the Haitian National Police can be effective. In the end, it is, of course, important that the capacity is built in Haiti, that Haitian National Police and other law enforcement units can take care of their own security in Haiti. It's not going to be so that there will be a force always there. At some point it will have to stop, and then the domestic national authorities take over and provide security for the Haitian people. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but this is step by step. Thank you very much. The next.
Buen día, mi nombre es Román Lechman.
Hi, I'm Roman Lichtman from Argentina. If you'll allow me, I have 2 questions. And the first is, what's happening with the initiative on security in Haiti? If the Security Council rejects it with opposition votes by China and Russia, will you move forward with it? And the second question is, the government of Haiti hired Petro Global, a private security firm. In that context, how will you coordinate the mission on controlling the gangs with these private contractors who, in their track record, considering what happened in other areas, there were many reports of human rights violations?
Let me try to answer some of these questions in this way. With regard to the last point, the private security firms which are operating in Haiti, this is a question really to be addressed to the Haitian authorities, how they want to treat that. But from a security management perspective, one would expect, once the resolution is passed, once the new structure is in place, that there is a coordination among all security forces on the ground, whether that's private or multilateral. So I expect that there will be that communication. But it is a decision and a management that needs to be taken by the Haitian leadership itself. I don't think we can be involved in that process as an OAS. Your first question was about well, if that happens, that would mean that they have not understood the severity of the situation. If 32 member states of the hemisphere unanimously endorse a path forward to support an improvement in the situation, in a critical situation in Haiti, then I hope that they will have the same kind of inspiration and solidarity to demonstrate and support the resolution. But this is a negotiation that will take place in the United Nations itself. We as an OAS do not want to intervene in that process, but I think that from what I have heard, both countries are looking at it in a more cooperative, constructive manner. Those are the questions. Thank you very much, all of you, and I appreciate it, and apologies to Peru for delaying the activity in the museum. Thank you very much, all of you.